time, perhaps you can tell us which is the next country Israel is signing a peace deal with?
Look, there's a lot of talk about different countries, of course. I'm looking in the direction of Oman, who have also a young leader who's just come in, who is interested in peace and normalization with Israel. So I would venture to suggest that that's perhaps the next direction. There's been incredible overtures and kind of under the radar collaboration and normalization with Indonesia, which is, of course, the largest Muslim population in the world. And that, I think, to me, is extremely exciting also. And again, I think the trick is look at the countries that are doing under the radar normalization with Israel as the countries who are going to do official normalization in a year or so, the way that we saw with the UAE. You know, we can't forget that there was about 200 Israeli companies under the radar working already or trading in the UAE, and that's how you can tell what was coming. And I would say it's the same thing now. Look at the countries that are kind of under the radar trading with Israel, and those are the countries that are coming. Of course, in Israel, we are very much in anticipation of peace and normalization with Saudi Arabia. Again, I'm beginning to feel the beginning of an under the radar, definitely desire to do trade with Israel, to exchange innovation, of course, and this is happening kind of through Bahrain. And so again, the hope is that this is a domino effect that will continue. Israel has always had its hands open to peace with all our neighbors and with the Palestinians. Just stress this again. Israelis want peace with Palestinians. Israelis have been always prepared for painful compromises to get this peace. Every parent in the state of Israel has to send their child to the army at age 18. I'm sending my son to the army in 6 months. Nobody wants to. Nobody would want to if we had the choice. We want peace. We want to have good relations with our neighbors. I will even venture to say we are good neighbors to the Palestinians. And so we look forward to normalizing and to making peace with the entire region. And we, again, stretch out our hands to our Palestinian neighbors and say, there is only one way forward. And the way forward is for peace and coexistence. They're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. I think emotionally and intellectually, the Palestinian leadership has never broke the news to the people that Israel isn't going anywhere. And that really is the essence of the conflict. When you continue to lie to your people and say, one day they're going to go to the sea, one day we're going to kick the Jews out, that is not telling people reality, and it's not preparing people for a future peace. One of the projects I'm very involved in is to try and get the Palestinian school book to teach peace, reconciliation, and understanding of the other. Because today, at the moment, unfortunately, they're teaching glorification of martyrdom, complete denial that Israel is even here, and anti-Semitism. And so if we want to prepare the ground for peace with the Palestinians, we have to start demanding of them to speak truth to their people, to speak peace to their people and coexistence, because certainly we do here in Israel.